Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau facing growing disapproval from Canadians and from within his own Liberal Party. The Prime Minister is slipping in the polls with a new Abacus data poll showing negative impression there of Trudeau among Canadians growing from 44% in 2022 to 59% today. With opposition against Trudeau mounting, what will it mean for the Prime Minister in Canada's upcoming federal election? Here to break that down is the host of the Charbonne Report, Michael Charbonne. Michael, what do you make of these results? I mean, you talk about it all the time, how bad Trudeau's been doing up there in Canada, but does this now show more proof of that?
Well, Trudeau's 8 years in office has ignited Canadian concern with 5 important things, John. Cost of living, affordable housing, health care, economy, and immigration. Trudeau Liberals trail Poilievre's Conservatives by like 20 points. 43% of Canadians would vote Conservative, while only 23% support Trudeau. Abacus data, as you talked about, just released numbers about discontent in Liberals is now at a 59% high. Negative impression of Trudeau is all about his mismanagement of the federal budget and weakness as a leader. And Canadians, well, we're just tired of his warm moose pies. Trudeau's created record spending, record deficits. Canada's debt is $2.3 trillion. We're $46 billion in the ditch, $18.6 billion just this year alone. Canadian household debt is 180%. That's top in the G7. And Canadians are just about ready to hit the cliff because what's going to happen? Mortgage rates are coming due and they're going to be doubled just to keep their house. That's where we're at, John.
I don't think I've ever had a moose pie before, being up in Canada.
You don't want one, John. Trust me.
I don't want one.
Trust me, John. That's what people put their toe in when they go field surfing, when they're a little buzzed on, weed.
Oh, man. Now, we've spoken here about the similarities here between Trudeau and President Joe Biden, but do you see similarities here between Kamala Harris and Justin Trudeau?
Absolutely, man. It's the same cause, the same system, symptoms, I should say, and the same results. Canada's basically a canary in a coal mine to America. Think of the people who are disillusioned, frustrated, broke with all this progressive failed policy, misguided, bloated government, overtaxed, woke, insulting DEI, discriminatory assumptions. The world is looking at Canada and saying, this is what America could look like. And when the world looks at you guys are $35 trillion in debt. Mm-hmm. You're destroying your own natural gas sales. I mean, groceries are up 30%. Your household debt in America is $17.3 trillion. And this Harris-Biden fiasco about $2.2 trillion for taking away all this student debt, which, by the way, the Supreme Court said is illegal, is the cost of Canadian debt. Yes, Harris and Trudeau have the same path, same result, and same causes, John.
What is he running on, Trudeau, right now for re-election? Does he have any policies? I mean, we talk about how Harris and Biden have to own a lot of the mistakes that they've made in this country. But what is Trudeau running on? Does he have any wins?
Trudeau's running on a bad record. It's the same thing as Harris. They're not talking policy because you can't talk about what you've done because it's in the ditch. You're talking about, oh, it's a greater time. It's God bless Canadians. We're going to hold hands and do this together. No, your economy's in the ditch. People are in pain. People are losing their houses. More people are homeless. He doesn't have anything to run on. And he's propped up by the NDP because he's got a minority government and he'd be kicked out in a heartbeat. Poilievre is getting traction because he's talking to the common man. And what he's saying is a key word here, John: common sense reality.
And that's what it is. You know, I have family up in Canada. They live in the West, in Alberta, which is where a lot of the oil and gas and a lot of the gross domestic product comes out of the West. And they're tired of how Justin Trudeau spends the money and pays for a lot of these things that Canadians don't want.
Billions to foreign countries, John. Billions to foreign countries that taxpayers paid for. What the heck are you doing that for?
Yeah, it makes little to no sense. Poilievre, though, is he making any inroads in the East? Because there's this East-West kind of rivalry in Canada, but there's less people that live in the West, so he's got to make some inroads with a lot of people of the Eastern population there. Do you see him making ground?
Yes, he's starting to speak to Canadians. He's doing an axe the tax rallies. He's talking about common sense fiscal responsibility, bringing Canada back into line, not flagrant immigration based on merit, not on just because you're going to come in. I mean, we have a housing shortage, and you got the government paying for hotels and for shelters, and it's coming all out of our pocket. And remember, we have free health care and all these social benefit parachutes that are available for Canadians, and now we've got millions of illegals and immigrants. We've got to be able to focus in on taking care of Canada. Although one would say that making America great again is a Trump policy, making Canada great again is what we should adopt as a Canadian policy, John. By the way, nice to have you back, buddy.
Hey, good to see you too. I was going to say, it looks like you got some color there. You must have been on the beach the last few weeks.
No beach, buddy, just a pool.
And don't have any of that moose pie. Here it's not very good.
Oh.
All right, Michael Chavard, great to see you. That's going to do it here for Sunday Report. Thank you so much for watching us. Sunday Agenda with Lydia Serrani starts right now.